Hello everybody, welcome to Tarot Off the Cuff. My name is Kevin Quigley and we are so glad that you joined us. Our next reader is Nancy Antenucci. She's a soothsayer, a pool player, and a movement magician. In her first life, Nancy was a choreographer and a dancer. She loves teaching tarot and we hope that you love what she has to offer.
Hi, my name is Nooch, full name Nancy Antenucci. But I like Nooch, especially in the tarot world. So I am using my second to first deck. I got my first deck when I was about 9, and it was a Rider-Waite deck. That was an amazing deck, and it's kind of my magic deck. So I've used various parts of that deck for rituals that I've done. So I've decided, why not take out the one I really learned on, I taught myself, and it's my Morgan-Greer. So, and I haven't really handled it for years. It's just kind of that special kind of deck. So let's go. So I'm going to shuffle. Going to pull one card and just let it trigger any stories that want to come up. In my mind, I feel like I'm really opening myself up to my muse and let her speak through me, whether you see that as goddess or wisdom, the creative unknown. Doesn't matter. As long as it's in love, as far as I'm concerned, and what I teach, as long as what you're doing is with the intention of love, you're bound to get some helpful insight. So let me just shuffle. Oh boy, these are they're kind of tired and old. Oh, I love it. They're kind of fragile, so I'm not going to like whip through them like I do with some of my new decks. Okay. And I chose the Eight of Wands. So, I've been teaching, one way that I really actually learned the language of tarot myself was to teach other people. I was always like 2 to 3 steps ahead of my students. So, and I treated it like a big, really kind of an esoteric sandbox. So just using the cards, not the traditional meanings of them, but really kind of finding out how we felt about them, what they were triggering for us, what kind of inner layers are being surfaced. And I remember with the Eight of Wands, there was this one student who, I said, no, but what do you see? What do you really feel with this card? Just tell me what it really triggers in you. And she just like out of pure frustration just said, 8 flying sticks. And I just went, okay, well, I was looking for something a little more metaphorical or deeper than that, but what happened was this became sometimes a cigar is a cigar card for me. Ever since she said that, it kind of changed my view of the Eight of Wands. So even though that has nothing, you'll not find that in any traditional definition books of this card is really a reality check, That's what it's come from me. It's like, sometimes a cigar is a cigar. So we're not going to go any deeper with that. It is what it is. Bing, move on, So I love that about the Eight of Wands. Also, the Eight of Wands, what has struck me about the Eight of Wands when I've been reading is some decks, the wands are going up into the air. So like, kind of like 8 arrow, 8 bow and arrow people shot the arrows and they're going, and so those messages are going out into the universe. Other times, and oftentimes it's going down. So that's on their descent down, and that's when to me, that's change is going to happen. Girlfriend, get out of the way. Like, you just get out of the way now because you can't stop this. This is where it needs to go. This is where this change is going to happen. This last year or so, I've really been really interested in watching YouTube readers who I greatly admire some of them fully, and a big common repeating theme for the Eight of Wands, if you're watching the ones that are, have quite a bit of a following, almost always rapid communication. You're going to hear from him this week. You're going to hear from him. Yep, nope, that that you're going to reconcile because the message is coming. So that's infiltrated me. I personally think that tarot, each card is like a palette. And the more experiences you put into it, the more you see it, through your client's eyes, the more you see it from feisty students, the more you can hear how other people hear that card. I just feel like those are all organic layers that go on top of the card, inside the card, from the card. Traditional meanings, what you study in books and everything, that will become part of the card. I actually don't feel like traditional definitions are the most important layer. If I did, I would have never actually ended up reading tarot, because the first deck I got had no they call it the little white book, no book of definitions. So from the get-go, I thought you had to kind of figure it out yourself. But then I'm very image oriented, so thinking in images is heaven. I mean, that's why I love tarot so much. What else would I say about the Eight of Wands? I had something fascinating, and then I heard myself talk. That's ego. So that's ego. But see, I'm an Aries, so I mean, I always feel like, well, you're saying ego like it's a bad thing. But when I talk about the palette and letting each card show the surface and absorb different surfaces of, levels of energy from your life, from other people's life, from life in general, I almost feel like I call it like the house of tarot. Like, what if there was this beautiful mansion or house, and each room was one of the tarot cards, 78 rooms. Or in modern decks, 78 plus. There's always extra decks cards now. Not complaining, just kind of a purist with just keep the structure. But each room is almost kind of completely empty when you get your first deck, and then each memory, understanding, exploration, or insight from that card becomes something in the room. So for traditional, like if you're really studying the traditional meanings of the cards, that could be the wallpaper, the curtains, the lights, the lamps. Then you have a really cool experience with somebody, and that becomes the bed or the sink, whatever that room is. So the longer you read, just trust that there's a lot of organic understanding that is happening between you and the card. Let me just go in a little deeper here too. So I'm seeing a beautiful castle in the back, and these wands are coming now. So to my and a river. There's a beautiful river that you're going to cross. So a lot of times I like to see the water as the unconscious, or what we don't know, but it's our yin. It is that deep flow within us. It could be emotions, visions, unconsciousness. So the wands are bringing an acceleration and energy. The wands are about fire, passion, sexuality, sensuality, creativity, the way that you express yourself. And there's 8 of them, so there's a whole bunch of them. So that expression is really kind of finding its movement. It's finding its momentum. And right beyond that, then you're going to cross the river, or cross maybe a different part of your own psyche to the castle in the distance. And that says to me maybe a different sanctuary, a different home, a different way of feeling at home, a different structure. So if this were to come up in a reading for somebody, I would just be like, wow, there's just a lot of change that is happening and will be happening, and you're going to be able to see a lot of things more clearly after all of this communication shifting or energy changes. But for now, enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. There's nothing you can do. And in fact, you probably, from prayers, visualizations, requests, desire, or even your shadow stuff, attracting things that need to be purged from you, like loneliness, separation, self-hatred, has already been enacted, so the universe is kind of going, nah, hun, we got the signal. We're sending it now. You can't cancel the UPS at this point. It's a cosmic UPS. So, see, I still hear her in the back of my mind. I can still hear her go, 8 flying sticks. I was like, oh my God. Wow. And I always kind of bragged as a choreographer. I used to choreograph. Well, I still do choreograph, but just for myself and any willing partner. But when I used to choreograph, I used to brag and say, "No, there's no person that that can't dance. I can show them how to dance. Maybe not well, but everyone can dance." And then after the bragging, I found the one person that absolutely had no rhythm at all, was not in their body at all, and I could barely get them to walk in a cadence, much less dance. So I also, the Eight of Wands to me is a very humbling card, because I feel like, no, I can really reach my students to find that mythic part of themselves, that spiritual part of themselves. And some people, they're very linear. They won't think that way. They don't have a poetic cell in their bones. I don't know if you have to be poetic to read tarot, but it certainly develops a poetic heart. When I first met other professional readers, I was shocked at how the uber communicators everybody was. Very verbal, very not always emotional, but very verbal. Could really paint a good picture, could really tell a good story. But I think tarot does that to us. I think over the years, it just opens you up to different stories. Well, you're certainly going to get a lot of really interesting stories from other people, for sure. But it also reflects some of your stories. In fact, I always pay attention to when I'm reading for somebody. There's a reason why that client is sitting with me. And it's probably because there's some part of their story that I need to learn from. So you always learn if you teach. And when you teach, you learn. It's just a real beautiful, it's the number 8. It's the infinity. It just is a give and take. It's very reciprocal. Like the Eight of Wands is really kind of a reciprocal response from the universe. It's just like, oh, wait, you said you what? You needed what? Okay, we'll be sending it. You might not send it the way you want it, but yeah, we'll be sending it. So, is he going to call me next week? Probably. I don't know. But are you going to get new information? Are you going to feel different? Are you going to feel a shift? Is there a new energy? Is it kind of fun? Is it sparkly? Is it like, yeah, I want a lot of that to come in. Yeah, with the Eight of Wands, definitely. And then in the reading too, it's where it is in the reading. So, if you had this next to a court card or to a major arcana, it could actually be messages from a person or from a greater force, an influence that's coming in. I'll just check my time here because I don't want this bell to go off. So I'm going to just stop it so you don't have to hear it. See, that's what I do at parties. It's like, okay, I can't find a nice little timer that just has like a zen. It has more of a like, so I know. So with the Eight of Wands, with expansiveness, with teaching others, stay open to the potential, to the possibility, and enjoy what comes in response to you. All right. That's this week.
Hey, this is Kevin.
Hi, this is Nooch.
Thanks for watching.
If you like what you saw, please hit a thumbs up and subscribe. You'll know when new ones are coming. And share with your friends.
We'll see you soon.